A recent Fraser Institute report shows the devastating financial impact of Trudeau's government on Canadians. Canadians will shell out more than $1,750 per person on government debt interest this year, for a total of nearly $82 billion coast to coast, according to the report. The federal government's portion of the debt comes in at $46.5 billion this year, totaling 10.2% of federal revenues. That means Ottawa is currently spending more than 10 cents of every tax dollar it collects on interest payments. In aggregate, the provinces and federal government are expected to spend $81.8 billion on interest payments alone in 2023-24. Residents in Newfoundland and Labrador face by far the highest combined federal-provincial interest payments per person at $3,225. Manitoba is the next highest at $2,728 per person. The federal government will spend $46.5 billion on debt servicing charges in 23-24, which is nearly what the government expects to spend on the Canada Health Transfer, $49.4 billion, and significantly more than it expects to spend on childcare benefits, $31.2 billion. Combined federal-provincial interest costs in Ontario, $31.5 billion, Quebec, $20.3 billion, and Alberta, $8.6 billion, are nearly as much or more than what these provinces will spend on K-12 education this year. Meanwhile, combined federal-provincial interest costs for British Columbians, $9.6 billion, are higher than what the province expects to spend on its social services. But it gets worse. The Trudeau government is expected to collect nearly $500 million in sales taxes on the carbon tax this year alone. In January 23, the Budget Office acknowledged that a 5% federal goods and services tax on the carbon tax will cost Canadians $486 million, despite repeated claims by Liberals that the carbon tax is revenue neutral. Neutral. They use that word a lot. Revenue neutral, carbon neutral. Some things are poetry in motion. Trudeau's government is gibberish and neutral.